Man, this sucks. This really, really sucks. I'm sure some of you, if not all of you, have heard the news about Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman in so many different things, medias, has passed away. And this is brutal. This put me in a really sad place to hear. I don't want to pretend like I knew him personally, right? But I did grow up on Kevin Conroy's voice as Batman. The very first thing that I remember as a kid seeing Batman related was Batman the Animated Series. And then you jump forward to all of the Batman animated movies that he's done, the Batman Arkham games that he's done. He's just the go-to guy. There is a reason why when people talk about their favorite Batmans, and even if you try to separate live action versus just the voice, people can't help but to bring up Kevin Conroy. He is the only guy that is unanimous as far as being the best. So rest in peace, Kevin Conroy. Hey now! What is up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB, and I just got done rewatching Batman Assault on Arkham. This is a 2014 animated film that I almost forgot that this is very much connected to the Arkham video games because it's been so many years. Rewatching it, at first I thought maybe it was just the title sort of using a similar version of the logo and they're just using the Arkham name because the games were so big at this point. But no, when you watch this film and you see certain iconography of how Arkham Asylum looks, they clearly use the same locations, the same designs of certain rooms and certain areas of the games for this movie, and I was impressed. I was like, man, this is so cool, to have a movie set in that same world that I love and I will constantly go back and replay because it's still that good. I'm sure I had the same thought back when I first watched it, and even more so when the live action Suicide Squad movie came out. But this story and this use of the Suicide Squad is kind of perfect. It's a much better way to use the Suicide Squad in a story. I feel like that 2016 movie should have been this. Just take the same exact story, or at least be inspired by it, and do a version of this, because this works perfectly, where Amanda Waller, of course, doing things not by the book. She's going underground and she creates her Task Force X group, and even them rounding up the villains and how they show who each and every villain are. Some of the top characters in the group: you have Deadshot, you have King Shark, Killer Frost, who I enjoyed her inclusion, and Harley Quinn. Now, you have a couple other members, but those four specifically I think are solid and strong enough to carry this movie, given their different personalities, given their backstories, and given just how they bounce off of each other in the group. The plot of them breaking into Arkham, like Amanda Waller using them to go into Arkham, infiltrate it, and she wants them to get the Riddler, right? Riddler, of course, being the brilliant, intelligent guy that he is, he did something that Amanda Waller is pissed off about. And I like that. Even though the Riddler is not the main focus, even though he's not the main villain, I do like the use of Riddler here. I do like that, because at first it looks like he's just going to be there at the beginning just to be taken out by Batman, quick 2 seconds. But no, you actually see how he is one step ahead on at least certain characters. I have to give this movie props as well for including the Iceberg Lounge. I always talk about this, how much I love just the idea of the Iceberg Lounge, and how the Penguin, being this former criminal, probably still a criminal, at least behind the scenes, but his front is that he runs this nightclub. Like, I love that. I do. And I love that anytime it shows up in an animated movie. We just now finally got it in a live action film, so I geek out pretty hard when I see the Iceberg Lounge on screen. Let's talk about some of the voice actors, because the voice acting is pretty good, better than usual. You have CCH Pounder as Amanda Waller. That's perfect. Like, that's too perfect. You have Neil McDonough as Deadshot, and I almost didn't even recognize his voice. If I didn't look up who he was, I probably wouldn't have believed it. I thought he did a great job. Also, Giancarlo Esposito, who plays a character called Black Spider. I'm not that familiar with this dude at all. And of course, you have the voice of Harley Quinn, Hayden Walsh. I don't know if I've probably just completely butchered her name, but I want to mention her because usually I'm very picky on the voice of Harley Quinn if they don't have it be Arlene Sorkin from the original, or even Tara Strong, I think, does a pretty good Harley Quinn. I'm always very picky. Kaylee Cuoco does a good job with the animated HBO Max show, but still, again, sometimes I hear a Harley voice and I'm like, I'm not sold, I'm not convinced. This one I did like. This one did feel like Harley, between her writing and just the character, and her voice, the way how she makes sense. That's also very important, that I don't think the live action movie, any of the movies really, made sense of why Harley Quinn is recruited to be on the squad. This, it works. The fact that the group needs to go into Arkham Asylum, and so since Harley used to work there as a psychiatrist, she knows the passcodes. She knows the rooms they have to go to. She knows how to get through there and hopefully do it sneakily, although of course it doesn't quite hit that well. And then when she comes face to face with the Joker, I like that she has that history where she hates the Joker, but then later on in the movie, of course, she rejoins him. She can't help herself. It's just, that's Harley Quinn. They try to make Harley Quinn this heroic type figure, and like, I get it, I do, but to me, that's not the definitive Harley. The definitive Harley is, even if she's trying to get away from the Joker, she can't. She always goes back to him because she's just too goddamn damaged. Troy Baker does the voice of the Joker. I should probably mention that, because if you're not going to use Mark Hamill, it's another example of this is the next best thing. Troy Baker actually does a great job. He sounds close enough to Mark Hamill, but also has his own little twinge to it, to where it's great. The way how he inflects his voice and his laugh, that laugh is very important. But let's get to Kevin Conroy as Batman. Just, even though Batman's not the main character here, I mean, it is called Batman Assault on Arkham, but I like how Batman is used as kind of a background character, but he's still the hero of the story. He's still the one who is moving things around when he finds out that Joker has a bomb. And I love how there's a moment when the Suicide Squad group uses old security footage, like the previous day's footage, so that they can go in there and not be seen. And as soon as Batman looks at that footage, it's not 10 seconds before he says, wait a minute, that guard doesn't work on Fridays, and this guard shouldn't be here. They're using yesterday's footage. Like, I love that Batman knows the security guard's schedule at Arkham. Like, that's just how smart he is. That's how much. It's like, I love that writing. And of course, Kevin Conroy, just hearing his voice, hearing his commanding, deep, even when he gets angry, now, you know, it's just, I'm like, man, there is no one better. I really enjoy this film. I think the animation for the DC animated movies have been, like, they haven't been at an all-time. They're not Disney Pixar, you know, like, they're not going for that. But I do appreciate that it's still 2D. I have a soft spot in my heart for 2D animation, given that I've grown up on that. I enjoy how edgy that they go. There are some radar moments. It's not too raunchy. It's not too over the top like some of the later DC animated stuff has gotten, but you do have a quasi-sex scene with Harley and Deadshot, and you get some heads exploding. They were able to go even more brutal with the head explosions. It's like an hour and 15 minutes, so breezes by. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of Batman Assault on Arkham? Do you like it as well? Is it better than that first Suicide Squad movie to you? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!